Hi, I'm going to be talking about Cahokia State Park. We went there last fall and it was a really amazing place. It's one of only 26 UNESCO sites in the United States. It's located in Illinois, but it's right next to St. Louis, Missouri. It's only a 12-minute drive. It got its name from Native Americans living there in the area when the French trappers arrived, but it probably wasn't the original people that lived there. There are over 2,000 acres in Cahokia. There's about 120 mounds. They think that during the peak, which the population was probably about 20,000 people, the peak of their civilization was between 1000 and 1300 AD. And that's a lot more people that were in a lot of European cities. In fact, it's the largest pre-Columbian site in North America. This shows where this shows kind of what their city might have looked like. The big one in the middle is called Monk's Mound. If you look over to the left where there's a circle, they call that Woodhenge, and it had a lot of the same properties that you see in England with Stonehenge. This shows a lot where a lot of the Mississippian groups lived, and as you can tell, there were a lot of people in what is now the United States before Columbus. And up in the upper right area, there's also a lot of tribes that lived there, but they weren't called Mississippian. So they're not listed here. And there's a lot of groups up in Canada. We were able to go to Cahokia last fall in October. This right here is a college student that took us on a free tour. She was finishing up her degree by doing some archaeology and taking people on tours. The parking there is free. Everything at this state park is free, and it's just amazing. And there's a lot of parking spots available. There is an interpretive center, but it was closed when we got there, and I just looked it up, and it looks like it's still closed. She told us that the mounds were built by bringing dirt in from other areas. This is a picture of stockades, and there were a lot of them there, and it kind of shows that there were a lot of wars going on at the time, and they rebuilt the stockades many times because they had to make sure that they were safe. And I think that it was a really good thing to have. This is Monk's Mound. We took a few pictures of this area, and it was named after Trappist monks in the area, so it wasn't named after the people that lived there. It's easy to climb the stairs that's on the south end. You can't see it in this picture, but there's over 13 acres to it. There's the stairs that we climb up. This shows a view from the top of the mound. This shows a better mound. If you can see, there's two parts to it. And there's another little part that you can't see that goes up a little bit higher. This picture is taken on top of the mound. If you look at the top left corner, you can see the gateway arch, and it just goes to show that they are really close together. And if you go to St. Louis, you really ought to be going to Cahokia. This is not Cahokia, but it's called Motte and Bailey Castle, and it was in the medieval Europe, and it was really popular the same time as Cahokia was. It was especially built among the Normans in northern France and Britain. It consists of a motte, which is an artificial mountain. They piled up the dirt there, just like Cahokia, and then a stone tower and a bailey. It's enclosed courtyard surrounded by ditch and palisade. They were really quick to build, and it made it so that you could be secure if you had just conquered somebody. And so if you were going to rule people, it would be a good thing to have, because then you could look over and see what they were doing and not have them attack you. If you look at Cahokia at Monk's Mound there in the middle, and the Motte and Bailey Castle, they're a lot alike in the protection that they can have. They are very similar to each other. It could also have been a place of resort. Places of resort are often mentioned in the Book of Mormon, and the idea to have them would most likely continue on even after the Nephite nation was destroyed. When we were there, we watched as a remote controlled lawnmower was at work on the side of the hill. It was kind of scary to see it at first because I thought someone might be riding on it, and the hill was so steep. And a 13-acre place of resort like this would be really good, even if you had large groups of people there. So anyway, in conclusion, I really would recommend going to Cahokia State Park, and definitely don't miss it if you're in the St. Louis area. It's amazing to look at, and if you have kids with you, it would be a wonderful place for them too because it's really fun and there's lots of places they can run around.